Okay. All right. And here we are again, and it's Ring the Bell. And of course, I'm your host, Big Juice, Andrew McNeil over here, and of course my co-host over here, my compatriot, my comrade in crime, Tomcat. That's right, Big Tom Rogers is beside me. Hey guys, look, we just decided that it's been a long time since we done one of these, and we got 2 pay-per-views to cover, so I hope you enjoy it. All right, we're going to first start off with Royal Rumble 2017.
Which I personally enjoyed.
Yeah, you know what, guys? As a wrestling fan, I have always been able to call everything I see, and the Rumble was no exception. Most of the time, I can know who the Rumble winner is going to be, and in a way, I can know who they're putting them up against. But I'm going to tell you, these 2 pay-per-views have blew my mind, and they've actually done things that I didn't guess and I wasn't right about. So I'm actually kind of amazed that this happened, and this don't happen to me a lot of times.
So let's start with the Royal Rumble. Let's start with matches you watched, because I didn't get to see all of it.
All right. Well, first things first, we're going to talk about. I'm going to go with the tag team first. Now, of course, that's Anderson and of course Luke Gallows versus Sheamus and Cesaro. Now, folks, as you know, I like to get on my diatribe about how the titles don't really mean that much nowadays. And I say that because they switch hands so darn bad. It's kind of ridiculous. Titles back in the day used to mean if you were that good, they put titles on you. They just didn't put titles on anybody. If you did something, they put a title on you. That meant something. And nowadays it kind of seems like, well, as my compatriot over here has said before, it seems like they're just trying to throw paint against the wall and see if
They're
something
using platinum records for coasters, like for coffee, like just to keep your coffee from dripping on the table, when you're supposed to use them as platinum records.
And exactly. And with that being said, I thought the match was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't the best tag team I've ever saw, but it was still good. They still had good tag team moves. I like Sheamus and I like Cesaro, and actually I wouldn't mind seeing them keep it a little bit longer. But I'm going to say this: the club I feel need to have those tag titles a whole lot sooner than they got them. And
I mean, the New Day kind of embarrassed them, and I didn't like that.
No, and I'm just going to say this, guys. To me, the New Day is dead. I don't care about the New Day. I hope to God they never even touch Tag Gold again. Now, understand me. I like Kofi Kingston. I like Big E. And heck, I even like Xavier Woods because, I remember him from TNA. But again, guys, I say this. The jokes are old. I'm not a New Day fan. I mean, they're great wrestlers, but good God, I'm glad
that is some ancient booty, and it is stinking.
That's right, really, really bad. But in all out thing, I'm just really happy that that the club finally won the titles. The only bad thing about it is I kind of wish they were on the same show when AJ had the title, because that would have always been cool. You have a faction with all these titles. But anyway, I gave the match about a 7. I know Tom didn't watch that match, so
I can't rate it, but I am happy that the Bullet Club finally has the recognition they deserve.
Tom, that's the club, because if we said the Bullet Club, we would get sued by New Japan. Just saying. How are those pandas treating you guys? Anyway. All right. Anyway, sorry. But our next match I'm going to talk about is Bayley versus Charlotte. Now, guys.
Again, I didn't get to see this match.
Spoiler alert, guys. I'm just going to tell you, if you don't want to hear what happened on Raw against Charlotte and Bayley, you can turn it off right now. If you're still listening to the sound of my voice, I'm just going to tell you. So, on Raw, the reason why I say this is on Raw, they had a women's title match with Bayley and Charlotte. And just like I predicted, Bayley won the title. Now, guys, you would think at a pay-per-view like Royal Rumble, Bayley would win the thing. No. They're keeping this record deal going on. But that being said, I'm really happy for Bayley. I'm a Bayley fan. Tom's a Bayley fan. He's even got his hugger shirt on. He's so happy about Bayley winning. But all in all, I thought the match was. I thought it was a good match. Didn't think it was the best match, but I still thought it was a pretty good match. It's the same things you kind of see. Her natural selection. I think she did it off the corner of the ring. It was really nasty looking. So again, I thought it was a pretty good match, and again, Charlotte and Bayley, they never disappoint.
How was the match at Royal Rumble though?
No, I'm talking about the Royal Rumble.
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
the match was.
I didn't see the match. So.
No, that's what I'm saying. The match was good. Now, if you watch the Raw match, that was still pretty good too, and I like how they kind of teased it there as well. But if you want to see a pretty good match, watch both of them. But again, I'm just saying it's this whole record thing, and of course, guys, I kind of hope Charlotte loses her belt at WrestleMania.
So this Raw was the 13th of February, 2017 is the Raw he's referring to, and you can catch it on Hulu.
Yep. Great service, guys. If you can't get it on cable like I can't right now, go to Hulu. You'll enjoy it. And something else, WV, by the way, it's an hour and 30 minutes long. That's how long the show should be. Not 3 hours long, but I digress. Anyway,
I don't want to spend 3 hours of my precious time after a long day of work
with bad matches, and that's a lot of the Raw matches sometimes that I see. Anyway, but on to our next match. Now, this is Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns.
I enjoyed this match. Roman Reigns, we're not going to make fun of him. I made a inappropriate comment about him in the first attempt at this, so I will not repeat what I said because I like my job and I want to keep it. So I will not make any disparaging remarks about him, only to say that he needs to learn how to wrestle. He occasionally shows bright spots, but other times it's like he's forgotten everything he's ever learned in school, in wrestling school.
And now I'm going to say this, guys. Now, everyone knows I don't like Roman Reigns. I really don't like Brock Lesnar. And matter of fact,
really,
I really don't like Brock Lesnar. Matter of fact, that mugger's an embarrassment to the ring. Go back to Ultimate Fighting where you can actually hit people for real and not damage them in the ring like you normally do. But I digress.
Thanks for giving Undertaker concussion.
Go me. A streak taker. Anyway, but with that being said, with Roman Reigns, and guys, I know the cool thing now is we're going to hate Roman Reigns. And believe me, after that match at Mania with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns, and all I saw was suplexes, super punches, and spears. Believe me when I tell you, that match was crud until Seth Rollins came out. And I was so happy when Seth Rollins came out. But anyway, I digress, guys. But it's just to me, and this is the thing. If Roman, I know you don't listen to this, but this is the thing, guys. I want to like Roman Reigns. I want to buy his T-shirts.
He's got a cool slogan. He's got a cool shirt. He's got a cool look. He can actually talk working on the mic. It's just his in-ring skills that need the work.
And we're not talking about technical wrestling, fellas.
All he has to do is do big man moves.
That's all he wants. You don't have to be Kurt Angle. I'm not even asking you to be a Dean Malenko or an Eddie Guerrero. I'm asking you, brother, to do moves that freaking Lex Luger could do. And Lex Luger was not a good worker, fellas.
Heck, even Big Show does more moves than he does.
I know, and then that's what, and see,
and that's sad.
And which, by the way, guys, and see, that's the thing. And I love to collect the elite figures that they have coming out, which are awesome, by the way. But that's what I'm saying. I would love to buy a Roman Reigns elite figure, but I can't, guys. You know why? Because this guy needs to learn to wrestle. But you know what? I'm going to try to actually give him a participation award, because that's what we do with kids when they're playing baseball sometimes. We do that when kids are playing baseball. So I'm going to do that with Roman Reigns. I'm going to give him a participation award. I think I saw him actually do the Powerbomb move he does, and I think at one time I even saw him do a Razor's Edge. But the match was good. Especially I like the part where Jericho, he's hanging above, he's screaming. He's like, let me down, let me down. And of course I love his, what's his term, the sexy pinata. That was really good.
The sexy pinata on a pole part of the match was pretty cool.
I tell you, Jericho can get over anywhere, and it was good. I mean, and of course, I even like the little spot where he throws the chain down from the cage and gives it to Owen. I mean, it's Owens. I mean, I think it's going to be a great.
Oh, brass knucks.
It was chain brass knucks. I can't honestly remember, but anyway,
it was something foreign and very, very illegal.
Yeah, actually, I think it was brass knucks because they did the whole thing about the super punch. I'm not sure, but anyway, it's illegal, and of course, he's the heel and he's going to use it. And anyway, I thought the match was pretty good for Roman Reigns being inside it. But that just shows you how good Kevin Owens is. So I actually give this match about a 7. Tom?
I liked it. I give it a 7.
All right.
Kevin Owens is entertaining. He can carry anybody. I look forward to watching him wrestling Goldberg at the next pay-per-view because he's a good worker, and him and John Cena put on some magic. And if you don't remember DDP versus Goldberg, go back and watch that on the network. That's one of the best matches I've ever seen in a title match. And Goldberg can't wrestle, so you know it was mostly Diamond Dallas Page. So if he has a good opponent and he doesn't kill them by being too stiff, he can actually have a good match.
And by the way, you can watch that on Halloween Havoc 1998. Guys, if you're too young and you haven't seen WCW, by all means, please watch Wrestling at its Finest, because that's what WCW era was to us. But anyway, now we're going to talk about the match to me that I felt stole the show. And to all you John Cena haters out there, I want to tell you something. Watch John Cena in this match, and please tell me he only does 5 moves still. I beg of you, please tell me he does 5 moves. Because you know what? I don't see The Rock when I see John Cena wrestle. I don't see Stone Cold when I see John Cena wrestle. I see someone who's actually working on his craft and who's actually doing some really good moves. And then
There's a reason why half the fans still like him, even though he's been shoved down their throat for all these years. It's because the man has perfected his in-ring craft. Now, he's not the most technical wrestler I've ever seen, but he combines power moves with technical moves, and he makes it look good.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, you know. And again, going back to Roman Reigns, people could try to compare John Cena to Roman Reigns, and you cannot do that. John Cena has way better ring technique than Roman Reigns. But, of course, and his opponent, which to me, you could put him in there with a broom, and he would have a pretty good match with AJ Styles, the phenomenal one. And boy, did they put on a phenomenal match here, fellas. I mean, it was, oh my gosh, technical move after technical move. Near pin after near pin.
Your fault.
Well, you know what it is. It doesn't matter. Anyway, and of course, you know, and what I really liked about it is at the end of the match, you had 2 attitude adjustments. Not 1, ladies and gentlemen, 2. So that shows you that.
The second one, how he rolled with it, was awesome.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it was, and I mean, even, I think AJ Styles even got the Styles Clash on him. He got most of his signature moves on, you know, Cena. And so, of course, everyone knows Cena did win the belt. Which we didn't, well, I didn't see that happening, honestly. I'll be honest with you.
So he tied Ric Flair for having the most championships. He didn't beat him, but he tied him.
Now, quick thing, Tom, do you think that he's going to succeed with Ric Flair? He's going to get more titles than Ric Flair?
I don't think that record will ever be broken, at least not for a good one. Not until Ric Flair's dead and forgotten. No one cares about him.
I agree with that as well. Because, guys,
while he's still alive, they won't take it away from him. Of course, they took the streak away from Undertaker, so anything's possible.
Well, see, and guys, this is what I want to tell you. See, this is how my predictions were going to go. I thought that Roman Reigns was going to win the Universal title. Okay? I thought AJ Styles was going to keep his title in this match. And when we get to the Royal Rumble, I'll tell you what I thought would happen there. But anyway, what's our next match? And guys, excuse us if we don't do the lower matches down the card. Not that they're bad matches. We just didn't watch them. But please go and watch them anyway. I'm sure Sasha and Nia Jax had a darn good match because Sasha Banks is an awesome wrestler and Nia Jax is really good too. But we're going to move on to the Rumble itself,
which I was excited because I like the Royal Rumble match. I remember seeing footage of Lex Luger and Hitman going over the rope at the same time, and then they ended up fighting Yokozuna for the belt, and I thought that was awesome. I remember Hitman winning the belt after losing to his brother that time because I actually rented that pay-per-view on VHS. Shows you how old I am, and I thought that was awesome. So I've always thought the Royal Rumble had a mystique about it that and I didn't like it a few years ago when they made. I like the shot at the belt. I don't think you should get the belt for winning the Royal Rumble. I don't like the way Triple H got the belt when he fought Roman Reigns right before he fought Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I don't like how he got the belt by just throwing a few people out of the ring, showing up late, and then.
Quick little history fact too. Triple H was not the first one to win that way. Actually, Ric Flair won it, I think, the first time that way. They've done it 2 times.
I
So,
love the road to WrestleMania because you still have an uphill climb. It's like you get to the top of the mountain, there's someone waiting to kick your butt.
that's right.
So you have to kick the king off the mountain, and it's a climb just to get to his throne.
That's right. But the fall is excellent.
And there was plenty of people. I did not think Randy Orton would make it to the top of the mountain. I thought it was going to be Goldberg or Brock Lesnar or either Undertaker.
And see, folks, this is how good they did. Now there is a scene in Raw. I can't tell you which Raw it is, but Goldberg is staring down Roman Reigns, and I was like, okay, I can see where this is going. So, what they were going to do is they were going to basically, have Goldberg win the Rumble, and then he would have to fight Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. But as usual, it didn't happen that way. But all in all, the match itself was really fun. I know a lot of people did not like the guest people. I think the only one people really liked was Ty Dillinger, Perfect 10, which I like that guy too. I think he's a good wrestler. But you saw some really good stuff. Braun Strowman came in like Kane. He's throwing people out, which I enjoyed. Of course, you had the big idiot himself, Brock Lesnar, come out. And of course,
when he got eliminated, I laughed.
By Goldberg really freaking quick. So this is 2 times, by the way, Goldberg has beaten Brock Lesnar. And guys, what they're looking at doing, what I think they're going to do, I think Goldberg at Fastlane is going to beat Kevin Owens. He's not going to walk out of that pay-per-view with the belt. And I think it's going to be Lesnar versus Goldberg. And God help us, if Brock Lesnar wins that belt again, I will not be watching World Heavyweight title matches until they get it off of him, because I just don't understand why you would ever give the belt to that guy.
He is as bad. He's as boring as Alberto Del Rio.
Dang right. Well, he can only do one move, suplex. At least Roman Reigns has 2 moves. You got 1. Thank you. Anyway, but all in all, and all the participants did a really good job. Jericho did a good job. It's just, they did a whole lot of cool stuff. I'm trying to remember exactly.
I know Roman Reigns threw out Undertaker, and so they might have a match with him. So I'm looking forward to that.
That is a rumor that Roman Reigns did put out the Undertaker. Undertaker was staring at Roman Reigns, so now it probably is going to be Roman Reigns versus the Undertaker. Now, guys, on the wrestling news sources, from what I heard from a guy I know, said that pretty much everyone else called Randy Orton. I don't know where they saw this in the stars. I don't know where they got this from the booking. But hey, they did a really good job if they called that. But all in all, I enjoyed it, because at the end of that pay-per-view, if you realize, the last guy was Roman Reigns. And I was like, not again. Not again, please. Can we please give someone else a shot?
I don't want to see Lesnar and him again.
Yeah,
I don't want to see Randy Orton and John Cena
again.
Which was scary, because the winner of the Royal Rumble gets to fight the one who wins the World Heavyweight, and that just happened to be John Cena. So, but we'll say that for Elimination Chamber.
All right. So all in all, I'm gonna give the Royal Rumble itself, I'm gonna give it about a 7.
I give it an 8. I really liked it.
It was a good pay-per-view. And I don't normally really like Rumble because I can guess it, but it was still good. Now we're going to move on to Elimination Chamber, which I am so happy about. Elimination Chamber. It's just, I like this one a lot. I like this a little bit more than Royal Rumble, but it was still a good match.
Unfortunately, I have to wake up early, and I do not do good. I have sleep apnea, so I missed part of. I had to watch it a night after. But I did wake up in the middle of the night, at like 1 in the morning, to look up who won the Elimination Chamber match.
Oh, guys, and I'm sorry, there's one more match at Rumble we didn't talk about, and we'll be quick about it. It was Rick Swann versus Neville for the belt, and of course the strap went to Neville, which I'm glad to see Neville actually getting something.
And Neville can make the Cruiserweight belt respectable, because he's got the name, he's got the high flying moves, and I don't want to see him end up like Tyler Breeze or Bo Dallas.
That's right, and I don't want him pigeonholed either. I want to see an Intercontinental belt on Neville. because he's too good of a darn wrestler not
And
to have a
Tyler
belt.
Breeze as well. Tyler Breeze had a good match with Dolph Ziggler.
But like I said, and Rick Swann did a really good job as well, not putting anything down on him. But I like the match. I like that match as well. So for a cruiserweight match, it was really good, guys. I just hope Neville was actually, his stock is starting to rise. But now we're going to Elimination Chamber. So for Elimination Chamber, the first match. Let's get the women's matches out of the way. Now, guys, I want to tell you something right now. I do not like Nikki Bella. Okay, I don't like her. I think she's a terrible, terrible in-ring technician.
She'd probably be bored in a porno, but
that being said, and guys, I'm going to say this: the only reason why they bring her out there is because of that tight shirt and those tight shorts, and everyone knows it. I know it. Tom knows it, and the rest of you people, the rest of you guys who are listening to us knows that. And for all you guys who are like, well, Nikki Bella, she is learning to be a good wrestler. That's great. Learn some more moves, but don't take away a record from AJ Lee. And by all means, do we have to, and don't put her up against Natalya, who deserves a whole lot better wrestler for her to wrestle than Nikki Bella.
Natalya is wrestling royalty. She's not just from a good wrestling family. She could hold her own against any of the men with her wrestling skills. She is an awesome wrestler.
I mean, why she's not going for the title, I don't know. Because look, Nikki Bella, I mean, I know why she ain't going for the title, but why is Natalya pigeonholed with this person? And guys, the match itself was okay for Nikki Bella, but this is my problem with the whole match. They end it with a double count out. And that's what I'm saying. They basically make it to where like, oh, the feud's going to continue. And I was like, oh, crud, I have to continue watching this? So to me, I did not like that match. I gave it a 5. And I can hear y'all right now. You're just a Nikki Bella hater. Well, okay, maybe I am, but I don't know. I can't see it, Tom.
She's definitely no Bailey.
No, she ain't. She needs to take some lessons from Bailey. Our next match is Mickie James versus Becky Lynch. Now, I thought this was a way better match than that one. Mickie James is a great wrestler. She hasn't lost a step, even though she's been gone for 7 years, something like that. She does a really good job.
She put on a really good match against Austin.
Oh yeah, and I mean they had some good moves going along. Of course, I really enjoyed it. I did not see Becky Lynch actually winning this one because I thought one of the bad guys of the duos would win one of the matches, but she didn't win. I mean, Becky Lynch won, and of course I'm happy because, as everyone knows, I'm a huge Becky Lynch mark. If they had a win a date with Becky Lynch, I'll be the first competitor up there to get that one. But
he's got a Becky Lynch wallet.
That's right. I got a Becky Lynch poster. I got her shirts. The only reason why I can't wear her St. Patrick's Day shirt is because I'm fat. But people, I'm working on that. But anyway.
At least he's not trying to wear her pants.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. Ooh. Well, I'm glad we don't see pictures from what we do. But anyway, it was in my opinion though, Becky Lynch is it was a good match though, nonetheless, and there were some really good moves in there, and I can't wait to see what they do more with this, or if what they're going to do for Fast, or what they're going to do at Mania with them. Now, Tom, so did you see that match? Did you see Becky Lynch versus? What did you think of it?
That was pretty good.
It was pretty. I mean,
I think I saw a little bit of it. I don't remember much.
So I'm going to give that match. I'm actually going to give that match. I'm going to actually give that match about a 7 as well. Our next match of the hour, of course, is Naomi versus Alexa Bliss. Now,
I missed this one.
I
saw the ending.
And guys, understand me when I say this. I'm not a Naomi hater either. I just don't understand why they took the belt off Alexa Bliss. In a way, they kind of advertised that she was getting the belt because she's like, oh, it's in her hometown in Miami. Oh, it would be great if she could actually take the belt to WrestleMania with her. I mean, they should just put a blaring, glowing sign with her.
And I don't hate Naomi. I just think she needs to brush up on her. She needs to be. I'd like to see more technical Naomi or a high flyer. It seems like when she gets in the ring, she seems to. I don't think she's really defined her own style yet.
And plus, I don't like her finisher. I think she needs to get a new finisher. I think I can't even remember what was it, the rear view. I think that's a terrible finisher.
Well, she tried a moonsault, and the moonsault wasn't bad, but she ended up landing her knee like in Alexa Bliss. It didn't look. It looked like she was clumsy when she did it. Like Alexa Bliss probably should have been positioned better, but Naomi could have adjusted. So I think that was kind of a sloppy finisher.
Yeah, I just I
I
think
do like the glow stuff. I do think the glow is really cool.
I mean Naomi's trying, and I can I can give that to her. But again, it's like the belt. You know, I will say Alexa Bliss got a way longer run than Becky Lynch did, which I didn't like. I think Becky should have kept it a little bit longer. But Alexa Bliss, I thought did a great job. You know, and again, I think, but here's the thing, guys. If they do what I think they might do in WrestleMania, probably a rematch. I think Alexa Bliss is going to get that belt back, in my opinion. But all in all, the match was, again, they did some pretty good moves, and I want to say this: Naomi is a lot better than Nikki Bella, but I just would like to see a little bit more work done.
I'd watch every Naomi match again before I watch one Nikki Bella match.
Thank you. Okay, and so what did you do? What did you give that match, Tom?
I didn't see it.
Okay, I'm going to give that one a 7 too. But it was, but again, it was a pretty good match, guys. This pay per view actually has some pretty good stuff going on in it. All right, now my next match I'm going to talk about was Randy Orton versus Luke Harper. And I'm going to tell you something, guys. If none of you like Luke Harper, and I'm a huge Luke Harper fan, if he had a T-shirt, I would buy it. You know, I've already got his figures, man. I need to get a poster of him. But anyway, this is what I think. If y'all have doubts about him, I want you to understand this. This man can wrestle, and to me, this match, to me, I don't know if it was. I would almost say it was to me. This was the match of the night. I really dang near enjoyed it because you saw so many near falls. I mean, you saw Luke Harper hitting him with, you know, 2 of those super kicks. You know, you saw him messing up Randy Orton's neck. You know, like he was going to get the clothesline on. You know, I can't remember exactly what his clothesline's called. And of course, you know, you saw Randy Orton come back at him, and it was like a lot of near falls for Luke Harper. You know, I wish the guy Luke Harper would have won, but as always, as Tom's favorite wrestler does, he pops up and gives him the RKO, and of course he takes the win. But, you know, it was a good match, and Randy Orton did a great job too. I love Randy Orton, but I'm telling you, these two did a really good job, and I mean, you know, and especially if you listen to the crowd, you know, you can hear the crowd go, "This is awesome," you know, and some might not put faith in that, but I'm gonna tell you that the fans didn't lie. It was a great match, and I want to tell you something. If you doubt Luke Harper, please watch this match. I'm begging you.
And I'm not a big fan of Luke Harper, but I do think he's a pretty good big man. And I was really impressed with what he did against Dolph Ziggler in the ladder match. Like, to me, that proved that he could stand on his own without Bray Wyatt.
And I mean, his match, him and Eric Rowan versus the Usos. I think it was that Battleground. I can't remember what year. Good gosh, if you can find that one, watch that. That was a barn burner too. I mean, the man, and he's so big. You think about this. This man is so big. He can do, you know, moonsaults. He can jump off the rope. I mean, this guy's really good, guys.
He's really working hard for his money.
That he really is. And he was the Intercontinental Champion. He's been a tag champion. I want to see a little bit more from Luke Harper. I hope his star is starting to rise. Now, for the creme de la creme, the main event.
What did you give the match?
I gave that match like a 9. I really enjoyed that match. It kept me in tune with it. And that's not because I'm a Luke Harper fan too, guys. I just like the match a lot. Tom, did you see that match?
No, I didn't get a chance.
Okay. The next one, Elimination Chamber. Tom did see this match.
Yes.
All right.
Except the ending.
Anyway.
I saw most of the match. I do know who won. For some reason the network cut off when I was watching. I saw the last 2 participants, and then the network cut off. There was technical difficulties, or someone who watched the network with us was, I don't know what happened, but I did not get to watch the pinfall. But I am happy about who won.
But all in all, so I want to run down the contestants of the Elimination Chamber. Now, of course, you got Baron Baron Corbin, or I like to call him Baron Boring.
Although he did okay in this match.
He did a lot of big man moves. I'll give him that. He did a good.
And him and the Miz were freaking hilarious.
Oh yeah, and of course we got the Miz. We got the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
We got
Who was the
Dean Ambrose.
It was Dean Ambrose. That's right, and of course
John Cena
and our boy
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt. Now, that being said, guys, the match itself was really good too. It kept me involved. It really kept me looking at it in tune. And especially, I love the thing where Dean Ambrose, he comes up and he pins, or he comes up and he does a roll up pin on Baron Corbin. Okay, Baron Corbin's really mad, and before he leaves, he just beats the devil out of Dean Ambrose. And he does like the wasteland, and of course that's when the Miz comes in.
I think it's kind of the end of days.
Or it's the Miz. Well, I follow Baron Corbin anyway. So anyway, and then of course it's the end of days, and of course Miz came in.
That was my favorite part of the match. I laughed so hard at Miz, the alternate opportunist coming in and just starting to kick everyone's butt. They're all so beat up they can't move. They all look like they're half dead. It's like, look at me, Mom, I'm winning. That was really funny. I did not like the Miz before, but after seeing his Intercontinental run and seeing this, I'm a believer. I am a Miz fan. He's hilarious.
Yeah, shoot, dude. I want to see him with the WWE Championship again. I want to see him as a champion. Guys.
He's such a good heel.
He can do it too, and he actually brought relevance back to the Intercontinental Championship, and that's what I wish they would kind of, in a way, Dean Ambrose ain't defending as much as Miz is, but I digress, but. I mean, I thought those were two pretty good things. And, of course, AJ Styles comes in. And AJ Styles, like I said, he could wrestle with a broom and it would be an awesome match. And so you just saw a lot of great things from AJ Styles.
Especially the moves off the top of the cage were really cool. Off the top of the pods. Not the top of the cage, top of the pods.
Yeah, didn't Dean Ambrose come off with like a
and when he got put through the pod.
Oh, yeah. Oh. It was some really good stuff. And, of course... And I want to say this, guys. Now, I was starting to get very disappointed with this match because John Cena comes in. And, of course, he's beating people up. He's breaking them down. And I just couldn't believe it. And I was like, man, we're going to see John Cena versus Randy Orton. Great. Another, a Mania match I don't want to see. But then, all of a sudden, everything changes. I forgot who pins John Cena. I believe it's...
But the only two left were... AJ Styles and Bray Wyatt. So, they're like, one of these is going to be a new champion. We're guaranteed to see it. And I was like, okay, this is interesting. And that's when my internet went out.
And see, oh, man. But I want to tell you, though, guys.
I did see John Cena get pinned, so that was cool.
But this is the thing, though. Bray Wyatt, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, you know what they're going to do? They're going to let AJ Styles win. Which is fine. At least I'll see AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. That would be a fun match to watch. And all of a sudden, guys, everything changed that I know, And I'm so happy because Bray Wyatt does the Sister Abigail on him. Boom. And you get the 1, 2, 3. And if you could see my face, it's like a kid at Christmas. I was so happy because I thought Bray Wyatt's legacy, because he's so good, he's got that psychology down in the ring, that I thought that he would be another Jake the Snake Roberts. And if you don't know the history, Jake the Snake Roberts really never won that many belts. I don't think he won any belts if you want to be technical. But what they would do is they would put you up against Jake the Snake Roberts. Because Jake the Snake Roberts would get you ready for a run with Hogan. That's what they would do with Bray Wyatt, in my opinion. They would put you up against Bray Wyatt for you to go up against the big guy. And most of it probably would have been John Cena. But that all changed with that 1, 2, 3. The history books have been rewritten. And to me, the era of Wyatt is going to be awesome. And I cannot wait to see these promos that he's going to do. It's going to be so awesome, guys.
If they don't drop the belt and make him a placeholder champion, that's going to stink if they do.
That's right. If they do it right.
We don't need to see Randy Orton win another run. I want to see him in the match, but I honestly want Bray to win. And I'm a Randy Orton fan. But we don't need to see Randy. Randy Orton doesn't need any more titles. He's had his time in the limelight. He needs to let someone else have it.
Him and John Cena. And I can tell you this, guys, they are getting older. So the newer dogs are going to have to step up. But I'm going to tell you, Bray Wyatt, and for every one of y'all that say he's overrated, let me understand you. Let me understand something. This man was a heel, and you look at what he does to that crowd, and his character is so spot on. I don't care what anyone says. He's got his character, and I believe that he is a cultist. I believe that he can
He
change
lives
your
out in the
mind.
shack with no power.
That's right.
Scribbles nasty writings in Latin.
And he can change your mind, and especially with that I don't know what you would call it, the spider thing he does where he can walk backwards. That's what I'm saying. His psychology, and guys, if you want to watch a good match, watch him versus John Cena at WrestleMania. I believe it's 30, where Undertaker lost the streak at. That was so good psychology. I mean, there's one spot where John Cena's running, and all of a sudden he stops and he gets into the corner and he's scared because he's doing that. He's doing that spider thing. I mean, just so good psychology.
And then when he begged John Cena to turn evil and hit him with a chair, that was awesome.
I mean, the guy.
I haven't seen that kind of. You usually wrestling it's like chewing gum for the brain, but occasionally they can do something deep.
And all in all, I'm just really happy with Bray Wyatt, and I actually cannot wait for that match because I think it's going to be a barn burner. But all in all, so I give this pay-per-view. Actually, I'm going to give this about an 8. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too.
So, and I'm also going to give the Royal Rumble itself, or not the Royal Rumble, excuse me. I want to give the Elimination Chamber match actually an 8 as well. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, guys, that's basically what we got to talk about. Tom, you got anything you want to say, buddy?
No. We're just tune into our podcast. We will be reviewing Fastlane as well, and we will probably do some WrestleMania predictions.
And also, guys, just on this one as well, if you're listening, me and Tom are going to also do some movie reviews. We're comic book fans, so we're going to do comic book reviews. Matter of fact, we want to do a review on Superman and Batman because we think there needs to be a review done and do that movie some justice. But before we go, I would like to do some shout outs here. If you like hobby stores, and that means you like to play Magic the Gathering, you like Dungeons and Dragons. We got 2 stores. We got 2 cool guys who run them, and we would like to just kind of do a shout out. One of them is in Greenville, and it's Blue Ox Games. You can also go on a website called BlueOxGames.com. It's such a good it's a good store. It's also got comic books. So guys, if you're in Greenville, please go check him out for all your hobby needs. And of course, if you're in Dunn, North Carolina, we also like to give a shout out to our friend Casey Powers and Dragon Tears.
He's an honest guy. He won't do you wrong, and he runs a tight ship. He can order you anything you need, and just look up Dragon Tears Gaming on Facebook. You'll find it. He's on Facebook.
And same as Blue Ox Games too. You just look it up. And again, both places are really fun. They're fun and friendly. People like to have a good time there. So if you have a hobby need, please go buy Dragon Tears in Dunn, North Carolina. And of course, if you're in Greenville, North Carolina, East Carolina, go Pirates. Go to Blue Ox Games down there in Greenville, North Carolina. It's a good place. So anyway, as I said, this is Ring the Bell, and of course we're going to be signing off here. This is of course Andrew McNeil, and of course Tom Cat. Yeah, I love when he does that. Take care, fellas.